What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and thank you for taking the time on this fantastic Friday night. It's not really that fantastic, I'll be real with you. Um, in a pretty bad mood today, not going to lie. Justice system has failed us again. So I'm going to try to come here. Escape the reality, the hell that is going on in this country today, and just hope that some, street justice is served. But today, we're going to get past that. We're going to try to look forward to something great, and that is the Eagles game. Although, don't worry, I won't be forgetting. Now, we're going to move it along here. We're going to get into the Eagles and the Saints roster comparison and matchup advantages. But before we do any of that, we will always go through any of the news or injury report. And today, well, the Eagles got some pretty great news. So we signed Dallas Goedert to an extension, 4-year, $59 million. 35.7 million guaranteed. Holy hell. And when they come out with the cap number, I will have all of that for you. But we got him locked up. Love to see it. Cannot wait to see what this tight end group looks like for the future with Dallas Goedert, Tyree Jackson getting healthier, and Jack Stoll. So excited about that. So it looks like he signed that while still in the concussion protocol, but was at practice today, full participant. So it looks like he's going to be good to go. And they're also talking like Miles Sanders might be good to go. So his 21-day practice window was activated. So it looks like we may see Miles Sanders this Sunday. That would be great. You know that this is the top rushing defense in the league right now, but got to continue to run that ball regardless. And it would be nice to have him back, but you do not get away from Jordan Howard. Let's just hope we keep pounding that rock. Now, here are the injury statuses for a few of the guys. Derek Barnett just added in. Apparently, he suffered a neck injury in practice, so he is questionable. Davian Taylor still dealing with that knee issue, so he is questionable as well. Jack Anderson will be out with a hamstring injury. So we know one guy that's out, and we'll definitely keep our eye out tomorrow, see what's going down for the game. Might be a game time decision for both of those guys. So we shall see. Now, we shall move on to the Saints injury news, and talked about this yesterday, how big of a loss it would be. And my Lord, you guys know this is my fantasy football running back, he and Aaron Jones. So they're both out. So guess I'm playing Ramondre Stevenson, and I don't know who else, but it's going to be hell either way. But I'm really glad because I didn't want to have to play him against the Eagles. But yeah, this is going to be rough for the Saints. We talked about this. Obviously it was a good thing for them to sign Mark Ingram. But yeah, it's going to be rough sledding for them now. We have struggled against the run. This is huge for us. Them losing, obviously, their best player. So he will be out for Sunday's game. And also, their starting left and right tackle, Teron Armstead and Ryan Ramczyk, will be out. That's insane. So another team missing both tackles, just as the Broncos were when we played them last week. So pretty wild that, people say injuries don't matter at all. It means nothing when the Eagles are playing, like, having your best players out really shouldn't matter. Guys should be able to come in and play the same. But I'll be real with you. When you see news like this, then it's always, it's going to be tough sledding here. It's like, well, I thought, everything was fine when everybody was injured. It's just, you play the same, don't you? Here's the full injury report for the Saints here. And look, I'll be real with you. Having Ty Montgomery out is going to be a big one for them too, because, he plays running back and wide receiver, and they're hurting in both areas. So that's a big one for them, missing out on some of their pass rush there. Tano, Passignon, Taysom Hill is the only one questionable there. But yeah, they've got a bunch of people out. So they are hurting, ladies and gentlemen, and that will be obviously a plus for the Eagles. Never want to see anybody getting hurt, but you got to take advantage, so let's go get that W, man. My man, Bird Gang in the building. What's going on, dude? Hopefully you're trying to have a good day as much as you can, like myself, without snapping on everyone and everything. But it is what it is. I'll be real with you. I just really was getting ready for this thing earlier today and was like, yeah, I'm ready, pumped up. Going on with Jerry Lee and his new show. I guess I'm going on their first show, having a guest. So that's awesome. So getting in the mood here, trying to talk some birds, get myself a little bit uplifted here. So Hope you're having a great night, man. Not to bring any kind of negative energy, but with what's going on in the world today, it's just got me feeling a certain way. But rolling through this, going through our Friday show, you know how it is, man. We're going to do the roster comparison, matchup analysis. So first, we're going to take a look at the head coaches of these teams. We know Sean Payton, Pete Carmichael there, Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, and Darren Rizzi as the special teams coordinator. So they've got their team right now in second in their division, behind the Buccaneers. And, the Falcons just lost last night, so they're 4-6, but a close race there. Somehow the Falcons have won 4 games. I don't know how, but yeah, they're going to try to come out here and, stake their claim for that division. But I'll be real with you. They've got a plethora of injuries. We've been talking about them throughout the week. And yeah, these ones that we just talked about are definitely going to hurt them. So the Eagles, Nick Sirianni has been improving. Jonathan Gannon looked good last week. We'll see what happens. Michael Clay has done phenomenal with the special teams. And then Shane Steichen, you don't really see what much of his role is, but, he's been helping this offense as well. So we're getting this offense on the right page, man. We're running the damn ball, making things easier for Jalen Hurts. You love to see it. So keep doing that. Got the team in second place in the division at 4-6. Look, we talk about it. We're probably not going to win the division, but you never know what can happen in this league. And we talk about the experience these guys could get making it into that wild card spot, into the playoffs. So I'm always going to root for the Birds to win. We understand that if we lose, it's a better draft pick. So it's really a win-win situation. We really want to see growth this year. That's what we want to see. If we lose, I don't want to get our asses kicked like we did with the Cowboys. I want to see us fighting, to the last minute like the Chargers. So I think that this game, obviously a really tough defense, probably the toughest defense that Jalen has faced, even though the Broncos were really tough last week. This is a better defense, but their offense is already banged up, and now they're missing their starting tackles and their running back. It's going to be huge for them, ladies and gentlemen. So we better win this one. Matt Moscano on in 30. That's awesome, dude. I hope you have a great show. I wish I could check it out, but I'm going to be doing this, then hopping on with those guys, but I'll definitely check it out if I can later. But have yourself a great show, dude. Hopefully you're getting pumped up about this matchup. Nina, what is going on? Hope you're off to a great start to your weekend. And same as everybody else tuning in, you guys have any questions, comments as we go through this, please feel free to throw it my way. We're going to go through as we do each week and talk about each team and talk about who has the advantage. Now, I was unable to get home in time to make that fancy little graphic where both of the, now I did have it finished, but I didn't have it individually done. And then I never saved the one here. So we're just going to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. But it goes pretty well to start it off. But let's talk about the offense first. So here we are. We are doing the roster comparison and matchup advantages. Let me know how you feel. Do you agree or disagree what I have to say coming up here? We're going to go through, talk about each position, and talk about who has the advantage. Not who is better, but who has the better matchup here. So we've got the Saints here with 12th in rushing right now, but they're missing Alvin Kamara. So that's huge. They're 31st in passing. So not doing too well there. And they've got Trevor Siemian at the helm. So this defense really, this is the time to stomp on somebody. We did well against the Broncos last week, who have a lot of weapons, and we shut them down. So we should be able to do the same this week. You never know what could happen, but let's get that first home win. They're 26 in total yardage, but 13 in points. I mean, that shows that Sean Payton still knows how to put up points. He's a good coach, but we need to be able to beat these guys. They are giving up 1.9 sacks per game, 0.4 interceptions. So not really turning the ball over, which is surprising. They're 4th in the league in turnovers. You'll be surprised to see who's in front of them coming up. But, they're actually taking care of the ball, which is surprising. But a lot of injuries here. Got to get that pressure. We'll see if we can't cause some havoc, get some sacks, get some turnovers in this game. Now, the Eagles offense actually running that ball, looking well. We know our quarterback can run the ball too. We are 3rd in rushing, but 27th in passing. We talk about needing to see that pass game get going at the beginning of the game last week. We saw just that. Keep that going. Total yards, 350.1. That is good for right in the middle of the league, 16th. We need to keep that going up. Points, 11th. Not too bad, 25.7. But let's put up some points on the Saints defense and prove to the world that this offense is serious. We know the defense needs some work still, but these guys, when playing together, they can accomplish anything, and I still have plenty of hope for the future of this team. We are only giving up 1.6 sacks per game. Look at these numbers, ladies and gentlemen. This is what truly gets me excited about the Philadelphia Eagles. We are not turning that damn ball over. Look at that. Third in the league above the Saints. 0.8 turnovers per game. Phenomenal. For what we just went through the past few years, that's just straight phenomenal. Love to see it. I truly do. So keep that up. We've had a couple the past couple weeks, so those numbers have kind of gone up a tiny bit. But hey, let's keep holding on to that ball, protecting the ball, and we will find success. Now, let's look at the quarterback first and foremost. We've got Trevor Siemian at quarterback. Man, that's wild that he's a starting quarterback right now. Got Taysom Hill questionable at the bottom there. We know Jameis Winston is on the IR. If it's just Siemian, he's got Ian Book as his backup. Whoo! If anything were to happen, that would be some tough times for the Saints. So Trevor Siemian, he's going to have quite a hard time. Both of his tackles are out. I think that we should be able to get some damn pressure in this game, get some turnovers. So I think he's in for a very rough game. Now, Jalen Hurts, we know that he's going to have a very tough defense he's going against, but we all know who was the first team that Jalen Hurts beat. That was the New Orleans Saints, who had a lot of these same pieces, and nobody gave us a chance then, and we went out and shocked the world. So I want to see him go out and show what he's learned and put even bigger beating on these guys. We need the defense, obviously, to do their thing, but I think he's going to get this offense rolling regardless of how good their defense is. Let's go, Birds. So I'm going advantage Philadelphia Eagles, baby. That's right. I don't care if it's a better defense. I think he has a better matchup because he's got more weapons. He's got a healthy offensive line, and this team's rolling. So advantage Philadelphia Eagles. Let me know how you feel about that. I mean, if you think Trevor Siemian has a better matchup, let me know. Let me know. But let's move on to the running backs. Now we talk about Alvin Kamara being out. Now keep your eye on Tony Jones Jr., though, because he could be brought off IR just like Miles Sanders. So we'll keep our eye out there. But right now, it's just Mark Ingram, and they've got Dwayne Washington as his backup. That's it. Alex Arma is there as a fullback. So, I mean, he can help you out there. But they do have another option. I was looking at the roster, and someone on their practice squad, old Josh Adams, as you all remember from Notre Dame, leading rusher for the Philadelphia Eagles with 500-some yards a couple years. Jesus. So maybe they bring him up. We'll see, but they're definitely hurting in that department. We know we've struggled against the run prior weeks, but last week we held Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams both under 50 yards. So let's keep that up. We're like 20th against the rush. Let's try to change that. Now, the Eagles, on the other hand, they're going up against the top rushing defense. I think they're giving up 72.9 yards per game it was. That's first in the league. So, yeah, that's pretty good, but I don't care. Remember that game? I think it was last year when they said that about the Ravens, like, we haven't given up a 100-yard rusher, and then we fucking ran 100 yards. Let's go. So run the ball. I want to see 150, 200 yards on this day. I don't give a damn what the stats say, what the experts say. But we see Boston Scott here. You see Jordan Howard here. You continue to use them. If Miles Sanders comes back, well, then he just replaces Boston Scott. Maybe you sprinkle him in a couple plays, but let that thunder and lightning show go, baby. And let's see those Eagles run that damn ball. I'm going advantage Philadelphia Eagles. I don't care if they have the number one rushing defense. I don't care. I think that this run, the rushing defense, when you look at the Eagles, it's not just about the running backs. Jalen Hurts runs too. So you got to worry about that as a defense. I think they're going to be on their heels. I think that this team is going to hurt them badly. I think we're going to really put a bruising on them. And not having Alvin Kamara made that very easy for me to make a decision. Mark Ingram still got a little, but I think we can shut a power back like him down. I know we've struggled tackling. I think we've gotten better. I think these guys are really figuring things out. I think it's time to dominate and shut down their run game. I don't care. I really don't care what numbers say. I think it's time to shut them down. Defensive ends will have a good day, Amber. I agree 100%. We're going to get into that advantage coming up. And yeah, Josh Sweat. And, we can call them defensive ends. I like to call them edge rushers because this defense is so ridiculous. We have a 4-3, a 3-4, predominantly 3-4, but I've seen more 4-3 lately, which I feel you should because of the players we have. Without Brandon Graham, it makes things a lot harder. In certain situations, you got to use a 4-3. I feel, Jonathan Gannon's a defensive coordinator in the NFL, not me, so he can do whatever he wants. But I think, the edge rushers, I wanted to say that because Jannard Avery, we want to include him too. And he's actually done really well when he is in. His pass rate win percentage is really good. Like he's actually doing pretty well as a pass rusher. We talked about him transforming from a defensive end to linebacker this year. It was, for me, exactly what I said then. We're going to be transforming into the 3-4. He's just going to be an outside linebacker, which is just a defensive end who's standing up half the time. Sometimes he drops back in coverage, but Jannard Avery, I think it'd be a nice, little game for him to sneak in something where you're like, oh, I forgot he was even on the team, right? So I'd love to see something from him. But Sweat needs to kick it up a notch, and I love what he's been doing. But let's keep seeing it. Let's get some sacks on there. Because we're like 27th in the league with sacks. We're not really getting to the quarterback. We need to. But I think, if you have to blitz it all, go ahead and do that too. Whatever you got to do. Trevor Siemian is not somebody I'm afraid of. If you send the blitz, that he's going to be able to pick you apart. I mean, they could, but their receivers aren't really possession receivers that much. There's a lot of speedy guys. So you got to get that pressure. Both of their tackles are out for this game. You have to get that pressure. Josh Sweat. We'll see if Derek Barnett even plays with that neck injury. So, but yes, I agree 100%. Get after the quarterback, get after the running backs. I think everybody needs to feast. Inside battles are going to be great. They've got some strong dudes in there. Really excited to see Cesar Ruiz and Throckmorton going against Cox, Milton Williams, Hargrave. I want to see this defense really. I don't think Eric McCoy at center is really something I'm worried about. I think we can get pressure with this offensive line or defensive line. I don't think you need to really send the house too much here. So if you keep everybody back, I think you could get some turnovers, some interceptions here. So let's do that. Now, on to the wide receivers we're just mentioning here. Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris. These are all speedsters, really. I don't find any of these guys scary, but you never know. Anything can happen. So I'm not sitting here saying, it is what it is, with these guys. At any time, they can beat with the long ball, but what kind of defense we've been running. We are bend, don't break, and we do not allow the big play. And that's something they've had to predicate themselves off because they don't really have much. And without Alvin Kamara, now you really don't have anything. So if we take away that run, make them one-dimensional, I think Traquan Smith, Marquez Callaway, they're going to have a tough time with Nelson Slay. And we run a lot of zone, so it's wherever they're at. But Deontay Harris, if he's working that slot, whoever they got doing it, Vontae Maddox has been doing great. All these guys, the safeties, everybody's been working together in this zone. And I think we'll be able to shut these wide receivers down. So looking at and you see at the bottom there, Michael Thomas, obviously on the pup list, is huge, but he's been out all year. Ty Montgomery, he just talked about is out, so he can play wide receiver and running back. So that's huge for them in a couple facets of the game, the return game too. So rough for them. Now the Eagles wide receivers, we've got Devontae, who has been balling out. People finally seeing he is that wide receiver one. Never understood the hate, but that's all right. People are seeing it now. Jalen Reagor, he has not lived up to expectation. Still hopeful that he finds it, digs deep down inside and gives us that first round potential. But Devontae, Quez, if they could keep growing together, this could be a very explosive offense for a long time to come. So I think this is the kind of game where, we're not being given much of a chance when it comes to the defense. They think, it's going to be, it's funny hearing some of the experts, this is going to be a tough game. Like, if we can dominate on defense, I think we can get this offense going, and there's not going to be much they can do once their defense is tired. So I'm going to be real with you guys. They have, a good secondary, a good defense, but they don't really have good receivers, and I don't think they're going to be able to do much against our corners. Going advantage Philadelphia Eagles on this one. So that's 3 in a row for the Eagles. See, of course, I don't have the graphic for the one that we're going a bunch of Eagles, right? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a sign, right? I was jinxing them. Now we'll move on to the tight ends. Got Adam Troutman back a few weeks ago. Woo! Juwan Johnson in there, a converted wide receiver to tight end. So, yeah, but they use Nick Vannett, Garrett Griffin. They use their tight ends, just like we talked about with the Chargers. You got to watch out for even the fourth guy. And sure enough. So keep your eye on this. You're going to see some 12, 13 personnel from the Saints. You're going to see a lot of trickery. You're going to see all kinds of formations. So Sean Payton is not a dumb guy. He's going to bring out what he can. But I think we've done pretty well this year against tight ends, and I like our chances. Obviously, we just talked about Dallas Goedert signing that 4-year, $59 million extension, 35.7 mil guaranteed, I think it was. That's pretty nice. So tight end one getting his money. Now go out and get some. Now he's on that concussion protocol, but not listed as questionable. Looks like he's going to be ready to go. I'm hopeful that he is. Let's go, Dallas Goedert. Tyree Jackson, Jack Stoll. What did we talk about last week? Wanted to see more of that 13 personnel. Unfortunately, Dallas Goedert gets hurt with that hit. knocked out for the game. Don't get to see too much of it. I really thought that was going to be a huge part of the game plan. Regardless, we still were able to run all over a really good defense. So loved it, but I can't wait to see that 13 personnel getting put to use and really watch those mismatches unfold. I think it'd be an interesting matchup this week, trying that 13 personnel. They got some really good linebackers. So we'll see here, but I'm going advantage to the Philadelphia Eagles one more time here, ladies and gentlemen. I just feel that Dallas Goedert is going to go out. He got paid. He's going to go dominate. And I think that their offense is just going to struggle. Now, we talk about struggling, missing both of your tackles, just like last week as the Broncos were. That's pretty rough. So they're going to have themselves a pretty rough time, I would imagine. James Hurst playing left tackle now, and you got Landon Young, the rookie, down there at right tackle. Talked about Throckmorton and Ruiz and McCoy there in the middle. I think this entire defensive line should be able to dominate. They've got Jordan Mills there for depth. Maybe they add somebody from the practice squad, but you got Ryan Ramczyk and Teron Armstead, both of your starting tackles out. Andres Pete's already on IR, so is Ethan Greenidge. They are hurting. This defensive line needs to go out and feast. Get those numbers up. We talk about, bottom of the league. I don't care. I want to go out and smack them right in the mouth. You do that, you win in the trenches, you win the game. So let's go. Now, our offensive line has really, really been looking nice. And I think, obviously having Lane Johnson back is huge. So he's been playing lights out like a beast since he's been back. Jordan Mailata got to move back to left tackle. That helps us immensely. So excited about this offensive line. You keep running that damn ball and we will find success. So keep running that damn ball, Eagles. And these linemen probably won't get hurt as much. You don't have them dropping backwards 50 times an effing game. It's going to benefit Jalen Hurts, the line, everybody. I think our offensive line has a much better matchup. So the entire offense goes advantage Eagles. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I just wish I had that graphic. But, dude, let's be real here. We should know that, and it's weird because you're like, oh, this is a really good defense. I don't care. I saw what everybody said last year and I countered it with what I had to say. And in the end, well, who was right? Jalen Hurts won. They all talked about how he couldn't do this, couldn't do that. Well, he's been doing nothing but showing people what he can do. So allow them to keep sleeping on Jalen Hurts. And I think he's going to have a lot of success here. So let's take a look at this defense he'll be going up against. And let's take a look at this staggering offense of the Saints we just talked about and the defense they'll be facing. So this is a prime time for the Eagles to step it up and really get some sacks and turnovers and really find themselves, man. I think it's be a great game to do it at home. So right now their defense, first against the run, we talked about 72.9, but they're 26 against the pass. This is where we talk about Jalen Hurts needs to go out. Last week, it was, I think the Broncos were 9th against the run and 10th against the pass. They were like 6th in total yardage and 2nd, I want to say, in points allowed. So they were a better defense almost as a whole than the Saints were. And I don't think the people writing the little articles and, going with the narratives really understand that. The Broncos were a good defense. And, they had a couple of injuries. And just like I said at the beginning of the video, well, injuries matter only for other teams. Well, that's weird because I thought the offensive line didn't matter when our whole offensive line was hurt. And I thought it didn't matter that Jalen Hurts' first 11 games were with 9 different starting offensive. That doesn't matter. Oh, it does now. I can't keep up with all. They're all over the place. But yeah, their defense it's good against the run, struggled against the pass. But once again, you take that all with a grain of salt because they can cause turnovers. They can they can create plays. Man, they got Malcolm Jenkins as a defensive leader, but look, they're middle of the pack getting sacks, 2.2 sacks per game. 1.2 interceptions per game, 4th in the league. So they are some ball hawks out there. We talked about, Adebo the other day, Malcolm Jenkins, Marshawn Lattimore. So they've got some weapons in this defense that can definitely in their linebackers. And they've got a strong force in the defensive line. So it is a good defense, man. But not getting too many fumble recoveries like us. And they're 11th in turnovers, 1.4. So they can definitely come after you, man. And I just want to continue to take care of that ball. So we talked about the Eagles being 3rd, right now in turnovers. Love that, man. So keep it up. Now, the Eagles defense, on the other hand, we are 20th against the run, as we had talked about earlier. So struggling a little bit, but getting better. So let's just keep growing and building on that. 13th against the pass, 14th in total yardage and points allowed. So we're getting past that We were at below average. Then we were near the middle. Now we're getting past the middle. I like that. It's the rushing that needs to be worked on. I remember not too long ago, we used to predicate ourselves on having at least a rushing defense, but have not seen that for years. So let's get back to that. Let's get dominant. Let's shut these guys down. They're going to try to run the ball all over the place. It would be crazy if Taysom Hill's out too, because that would take away a big chunk of what they will try to do this week. So I'll definitely keep you guys up to date with that. Now, we talk about it is 27th in the league in sacks. So, dude, we need to get some sacks this game, get some interceptions. Let's get some damn turnovers because we're bottom of the pack when it comes to getting that ball, creating big plays. So I want to see some damn big plays. And I think once again at home against a very banged up Saints team, it's the perfect time for the defense to step up. And they did it last week. We talked about that. We'll continue to grow on that. So let's go. Let's talk about it. Let me know how you guys felt about the offense. You agree, disagree with any of those positional breakdowns? Let me know who you think has the advantage. But we're going into the defense. Let's start with the Saints first. Start in the trenches. Defensive ends, they've got two really good ones. Cam Jordan and Marcus Davenport. No joke, man. But we talked about missing Passignon, so they are once again banged up with their pass rush. He does get snaps. So they'll be, relying on Granderson and Holmes to give them depth. But those two starters are no joke. So it's going to be quite an interesting matchup. Those will probably be part of the top 10 matchups tomorrow. Talking about Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata trying to hold these guys down. It's going to be very intriguing to watch. But when you talk about the middle, not as great as the outside. Not household names, but Onyemata and Tuttle, decent, and that's why they are the number one rushing defense. These are some big dudes. Montravius Adams comes in there. Malcolm Roach is a part of the rotation, and he will be out. So maybe you'll see a little bit of Christian Bringo. But, these are underrated names, and they are definitely some big boys. But I think that if you have Landon Dickerson, Jack Driscoll, two other big boys in there, I think running that ball, pushing back as much as you can against two dominant guys, it's going to be a heavyweight battle, and I really can't wait to watch. But you can't get away from that run, and I really just hope we can get it established and keep it going, man. So, yeah, their defensive line, it's pretty good, but they're going against a pretty good offensive line, so best of luck to you. Now, let's take a gander at this Eagles defensive line. We talk about the fact that they are banged up on the offensive line, so we're going to try to feast here. Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett getting the predominant snaps as edge rushers, but we talked about earlier Jannard Avery also, as an outside linebacker there. Ryan Kerrigan getting some snaps. Teron Jackson, I love that he's been getting more snaps. And then you got Brandon Graham down there at the bottom. That sucks. He's on IR, but hopefully he's teaching these kids well, and hopefully with the tackles out, we can get some damn sacks and move up the damn board. I get sick making these damn numbers, and I'm like, really, man? You can't get some So let's get some pressure. Only had one sack last week, and both their tackles were out. I know we had some great plays there, but I want to see more sacks. I want to see like 4 sacks in this game. I'm dead ass serious. Let's go. And also with the guys in the middle, we talk about the matchup there with the guys they have on the offensive line. Talking about what Throckmorton, McCoy, and Cesar Ruiz in there. I think Hargrave, Cox, and Williams can really do some damage. So I'll be real. The line as a whole, man, I think we definitely have the advantage. So far, we've got the entire advantage board going to the Philadelphia Eagles. So it looks good so far. And you win in the trenches. So if we win on both those sides, we talk about that every week, you got a chance to win. Yeah, it's very, very huge. Exactly, Amber. And I talked about that. He's a big part of the rotation. A lot of people feel like, oh, he's not a starter. Who cares? It's like, especially when you're looking at defensive linemen, a lot of teams playing with a rotation. He is a big part of it. So that's going to be a big loss for them. And we talked about that last night. So told you guys, I'll keep you up to date with every single injury, everything that's going on. So, but that's a big one. So 100% agree. And yeah, Teron Jackson's awesome, Drew. We talked about him. That was one of my guys that I really wanted as a late round pick this draft. And yeah, obviously to get our first pick, Devontae Smith, who I wanted, and then Kenny Gainwell was somebody we talked about a lot. Teron Jackson. Those are some big names we talked about. And seeing him on this team has got me pretty excited. So I can't wait to see him and playing more that 4-3 fits him better than trying to put him as a defensive end in a 3-4 or an outside linebacker in a 3-4. Not really his thing. The same goes for an old Ryan Kerrigan. He works better as a defensive end. I have a show out there if you guys want to check that out from like a month ago when Brandon Graham got hurt, just kind of explaining the situation, how I thought Milton Williams would be the guy that had to step in, which he is. But a lot of people thought Sweat, this guy, but Brandon Graham didn't play defensive end. You know what I mean? He was playing defensive end in a 3-4. They're thinking the edge rusher in a, you know what I mean? And that was Avery, Sweat, Barnett out there. So it's a different defense. It's a hybrid scheme. So we're all over the place. And I just felt a little more 4-3 would take us a long way. And we used more of it last week and we found success. So just saying, just saying. Now on to the linebackers. Here's one where I'll be real with you. I think you know where this one's going. Demario Davis, probably, I mean, one of the most underrated linebackers in the game. The dude is pretty awesome. Quan Alexander deals with some injuries the past couple years, so that sucks. But he's another really good linebacker. I was hopeful maybe we could pick him up when he was a free agent. We needed veteran help. We went with Eric Wilson instead. It is what it is. We talked about it. It doesn't matter. We need to draft somebody in this upcoming draft. For now, it's just let's get those young guys out there, see some snaps. So Demario Davis, Quan Alexander, they'll get Caden Ellis in there. They definitely will if we start running the ball well, get a lot of it. So he'll have to see some snaps if that's the case. But you see the top two there, they will play their nickel package and they will do some damage, man. And as much as I talk about our linebackers and how much I love the fact that, you know, these younger guys are getting that time, you know, Davian Taylor and TJ Edwards, you guys know, if you follow me, I was catching a lot of slack for saying that, you know, Davian needed to be the starter with TJ and, you know, Singleton and Wilson needed to not. And they started seeing reduced snaps. A lot of people were, oh, it's because of this, that, the other thing, whatever. Eric Wilson's gone. Alex Singleton only sees like 10 snaps a day. He is depth, great on special teams. Love Alex Singleton, but he's not the answer. Sean Bradley, he's a special teams ace. Love to see what he's doing. Keep getting him continued reps. Dude, you guys know that yesterday I was out there. Vote on the Pro Bowl. Let's get these guys in there. And Sean Bradley's doing great. Hey, he leads the league in special teams tackles. So great job. TJ Edwards, love what he's doing. Needs to work on his coverage skills. Davian Taylor needs to work on his tackling. These guys need a lot of work, but they can be a part of this future. If you put like a stud middle linebacker in there and allow these guys, you know, to come in, Davian Taylor can be the other nickel linebacker. You're in a run situation. You would have this stud, you know, whoever it is. And you got TJ Edwards and Alex Singleton in with him or Sean Bradley, whatever you want to do. You've got options, but you've got to add some youth there this year. So for right now, I'm going to be real with you. The advantage, I'm giving it to the New Orleans Saints. That's one of the best duos in the game. So I just feel they could give us a hard time, man. They really could. Appreciate you, Drew. Yeah, check it out. I think it's just how will the Eagles replace Brandon Graham? I think that's all it's called. And it's got like a picture of him hurt, maybe. But yeah, I think it's like a 10, 15-minute video, and it's got graphics of what the difference between a 3-4 defense, a 4-3 defense, a 3-4 nickel, talking about a 5-2. There's a lot of different things that the Eagles like to do. So I wanted to make a video, and it gave me an opportunity to kind of explain the, you know, schemes we're running. But, you know, also, I think there was some confusion about what we were going to do. You know, Sweat and Barnett and Avery were all going to play the same role when Graham got hurt. So it needed to be Milton Williams that stepped up. The only problem was, who else do you have? Because Milton Williams was Brandon Graham's depth there. You know, Ryan Kerrigan's horrible as a defensive end in the 3-4. Not that great in the 4-3 either anymore, but he plays better out, you know, there. But Teron Jackson, not really that guy. Maybe you can teach him, but Brandon Graham's an anomaly at playing defensive end in the 3-4 like that. But Fletcher Cox, you know, Hargrave, these guys all getting used to a new system. But yeah, I took the time in that video to really describe a lot of things. So I hope you enjoy it, man. Let me know, comment on it. Let me know how you think about it, dude. But I appreciate you. Sub from my man. I appreciate you, Astro. Feel free to comment anytime, even if you're watching it later, whatever, dude. Always down to talk some birds. We're always getting into it. And I just try to break everything down as much as I can, get you guys to, you know, we want to know everything about the Eagles, but every week I want to know everything about our opponent too. You know, show me my opponent. That's what I want to know. So I always just try to bring, you know, what I think as a diehard fan, what do I love to know? And it's like, I want to know everything about the Eagles. I want to know when someone's hurt. I want to know everything. So that's kind of just what I try to provide for you guys. So I truly appreciate you, man. All of you guys that subscribe to the channel, wherever you're following me or whatever, truly appreciate the support. I just try to do the best I possibly can for you guys with everything going on in my life. On top of it, it has made it insane. But you guys have helped me get over almost dying, dude. So I owe you guys everything. I love you with all my heart. So I appreciate you, Astro. Truly do. And look forward to talking some more birds with you, man. Don't be shy to chime in. And I say that to everybody, you know. And if you don't want to chime in here, I always say you can reach out to me, whether you want to talk some birds about life, because I mean it, man. I really do. A lot of us go through stuff in life, and I always just try to be there because I know when I was down and out, I always felt like I had nothing. So I just want other people to know, we can talk some birds, and that helped me. So just yeah, I appreciate the hell out of you guys. I really do. Had an opportunity at Demario Davis when he was yeah, I do remember that too a couple years ago. Yeah. So that's another one I would have been more than okay with when he left Jets there. But hey, it is what it is. And look, I think that we need to draft a linebacker desperately. I just hope they put an emphasis on it. So we'll see. Now on to the secondary, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Marshawn Lattimore. We've talked about, one of the better corners in the game. Paulson Adebo, the third-round rookie, getting start already, and he's out there balling, man. He can definitely he's a ball hawk, man. So we talked about him in the pre-draft process. But I think these young receivers, man, they're gonna hopefully give them some work. I think this is gonna be one of their tougher challenges. PJ Williams in there too. Roby, they just took Ken Crawley off of IR the week before. So he played a couple snaps last week, maybe 3, I think a few. So, yeah, it's a decent corner room right there. And then when you add on the safeties they've got in Malcolm Jenkins and Marcus Williams, unfortunately, they are missing CJ Gardner-Johnson. That's a big one on the IR. A guy that can play nickel, free safety, he can move around. So that's a big loss for them, but still a pretty damn good secondary. I just think, with these young receivers, the way they're rolling, I think we could get going on them regardless. I'm not afraid. I know they're decent, but they have had their downfalls, this defense, in the past game, especially. We talked about it. They're like 26th in yardage allowed. I think that if we can dominate the run game, we won't have to pass too much, but we can hit them where it counts. And, you get these guys second guessing what's coming at them, get that run game going, set up that play action. I think that we will find success. But you look at our secondary, I think we're going to be able to take away that run game. We're going to be able to put pressure on Trevor Siemian. And I don't think they have a great wide receiver room. So I think not only will Slay and Nelson and Maddox be able to dominate, but I think maybe we see some of these younger guys, if it's a blowout at the end, maybe we can get some reps to McPherson. Maybe Josiah Scott comes in the nickel. Maybe you see Tay Gowan active for this game, or Kerry Vincent. Maybe he gets a little safety time. I'd like to see what he could do at free safety, but it is what it is. We shall see. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. I'm just saying I think that this could be a chance for the secondary to prove, look, we got a lot of talent back there. It's time to start doing some stuff. So you got McLeod and Harris as your safeties. That's a pretty good duo. I know this is their first year together. There were some injuries to start the year. Both these guys missing for different things. So healthy, playing together. Let's get it rolling. Kayvon Wallace had the block last week. Marcus Epps coming in, getting a good, healthy amount of snaps. So, hey, I love what he's been doing. Andre Sachare has been killing it on special teams. He came in and helped on defense the other week. So, look, I'm excited about this secondary, and I truly believe they are going to be able to shut down this New Orleans Saints passing attack. And I just feel that the Eagles have a better matchup there. So, literally, so far, all we have is everything Eagles except for the linebackers. For the Saints have the advantage there because I don't know what the run game is going to look like. If we're going to continue to run the ball, we better. Miles Sanders is going to be there, but I'm just giving it because they've got 2 Pro Bowl guys right there, and that's just, yeah, had to give them something, right? Now let's go on to the special teams before we roll out here. They've got another team with just 1 return specialist, and we talk about this. We can't just have one guy listed as both, right? Damn them. But, yeah, they've got Deontay Harris and sometimes Marcus Callaway back there. Deontay Harris can get you, man. He's a fast little turd. I'll tell you what. This little mofo, I had him in fantasy, played him the 1 week, did not do anything. Then the next week he goes, I can't with fantasy football this year. But, yeah, you got to watch out for him. So we definitely have to watch out in the return game. But then you talk about their kicker, dude. Will Lutz is on the IR. So he's been out most of the year. And you've got Brian Johnson here, the rookie. Blake Gillikin and Zach Wood to end it out. But, yeah, man, not necessarily a special teams that I'm too worried about, except for, Deontay Harris. Like I said, he could, come out of nowhere, man. But, yeah, dude, I appreciate you, dude. What do I think about Kayvon? I think he's good. He's still young. Last year was really weird for all the rookies and everything else going on and everybody. Things were weird. And then you look at the second year guys and it was like, hey, they were just rookies the year before too. So he's one of those guys where it's like, I'm trying to stay patient. He had some injuries, some things, but I think he'll be all right. Just give him some more time. I don't know that he is starting material, but I'm hopeful he can be that guy. And maybe we have some three safety sets, because he can play some nickel depending on the matchup. Strong safety when you're playing that big nickel kind of defense. So, yeah, there's still hope for him. 2 minutes behind, but just fast forward, and I got so much. I appreciate you, bro. Dude, just doing my thing. And dude, always welcome to, like I said, join in, dude. Always talking birds every single day. Oh, dude, I would do that, but dude, I have so much going on. I've got an 11-year-old, my girl, my dog, who is a nut job. So just for them to do everything they can to keep the dog sane and everything else going on, it's always a blessing. My girlfriend is a true gem, dude. Everything she does to make sure I'm able to do this, truly appreciate the hell out of her. But yeah, man, I would. And I've thought about doing like just maybe a certain one or two. Like I can't do it every game because there's just too much chaos, dude. And plus, me during a game, if you've ever anybody who's ever watched a game with me or been to a game with me, you know just how insane I am. So people might run. But yeah, man, and then just dude, staying busy best I can, that keeps me safe and sane. But I'll definitely get something like that. And I'm always talking throughout the games. And that's something my dad, when I was growing up, he would unplug the phone in the wall and be like, yeah, what if an emergency happens? He'd be like, well, I guess they're going to have to wait. We never, you don't interrupt Eagles games. But now with me running this, like he didn't have a brand and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's like I started like tweeting during games and talking with people, and I try to keep up, but like I'm so locked in during games. During a commercial, I'll try to say some stuff or something happens while they're celebrating. I'll post something. I don't know, but it's just been truly a pleasure to build this family in the few years that I've been doing this. I went from not knowing if I was going to live on my effing deathbed and, creating a brand that I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. We ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. I just felt it was destiny. So I've just been building on it, man. You know what I mean? So it's like, my health sometimes it gets rough, but I'm literally like, I got a show to do, stop being a bitch, I got work to do, I got this. Every day I give and family obviously is a huge motivator for me, so I use what helps me to keep going. And right now it feels like someone's got a samurai sword in my liver, but I don't ever come on here like, oh, please feel bad for me. I don't want that. What I want is to give you guys a place to come where, just like it is for me, it's that escape from everything, and we can talk some birds. And a lot of people I've built plenty of friendships. You guys feel like family here, that reach out, and the things we talk about, personal things that are going on. And it's like, that's what I started this to do. You know what I mean? I almost died, went through some stuff, and mentally it beat me down. And it was like, I don't want people to go through that alone, man. And I was lucky to have my family. And it's like, I just want other people to know that this bird family, man, it's the real deal. And anybody ever needs anything, and even if you don't, you just want to talk some birds, man, that's what I'm here for, And I try not to preach or get sappy on people or anything, but I just let people know I'm here, man. Oh, dude, she is my rock. Dude, the first night I was in the hospital, they were like, you're not sleeping here. And she was like, yeah, I'd like to see you try to stop me. And figuring it out with the kid, like the grandparents were cool and everything, watching it. It was just nuts. She was there. Like, I think only one night was she not able to be there, to stay over that month I was there. Like, you want to talk about insane. And she was working like 10-hour days. She'd come like, and then she's the one that really pushed me to start this, because I was sitting there and it was miserable. And I'm like, dude, do these people know football? Like, it was just pissing me off more. I was like, I'm going to die pissed off because these dudes are talking shit about my Eagles and they don't know what they're talking about. So she was like, well, you do. So why don't you just start doing it? And it was like, well, I don't work for it. And she's like, well, work for yourself. I was like, you know what? You're right. So we both talked and we went over some names and we talked about it. And then on the road to victory is where I was headed. So that's what I named it. And that's where the Eagles were headed. Little did we know. So they won the Super Bowl that year, and being at my dad's grave and everything, that was like a full circle. The world, like, well, here's your second chance at life, dude. So go do what you wanted to do, man. Talk about your birds, make something of it. And I will. I'm going to keep going, but I appreciate the hell out of you guys. I do. But we'll look at the Eagles special teams here last, and then I'm going to roll out. So if you guys have anything else, let me know how you're feeling about these. Who has the advantage here? You agreeing, disagreeing? But in our return game, Quez is back there, kick returner. Jalen Reagor back there, punter. We need a big play. Whoever the hell's back there, I want to see a big damn return. We've got some really talented guys back there, and it's time to get a big play because there have been times they've had opportunities on the field and they've made big plays on offense. They've also both missed plays on offense. So here's a chance where you just get that ball in your hands in space. So go make something happen. I will love if I come back here on Monday and we're talking about that beautiful kick or punt return that we got. Come on, special teams, step it up, because the special teams unit has really been kicking ass. We talk about Sean Bradley leading the league in special teams tackle, but Jake Elliott only missed a couple kicks. Aaron Sipos has been phenomenal. So loving what I'm seeing from him. So get out there, vote for these guys for the Pro Bowl. Hashtag Pro Bowl vote with their name, or you can go to NFL.com, get your votes in, make sure these players are out there. But I'm going with the advantage of the Eagles on that one too. So literally the Eagles almost had a clean sweep, but Saints go ahead and get the advantage at linebacker. But other than that, that's how we stand, ladies and gentlemen. Hey man, I try to have a good attitude. Today I had a pretty bad attitude, but it's all good. But dude, I appreciate the hell out of you guys, and that's all I try to do, dude. Even when the team seems like everything's on fire around us, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, we're Eagles fans. We've been on fire plenty of times. We know misery, but we get through it together. So I try at least make you guys enjoy some craziness, see what it's like, you know, behind the camera to, you know, just be a crazy Eagles fan. And it's like, and look at how many groups and people have reached out to me and I've helped, you know, get started. And, you know, it's awesome, dude. The brotherly love we have shown, you know, not Eagles, all Eagles fans are crazy nut jobs. We're crazy and good, you know. And look, I've got my bad side, but I'll be real with you. I come here to spread positivity, and that's it, man. And I think, you know, this helps me do that. You know, this is like my therapy, my Eagles, you know what I mean? Oh, dude, I appreciate you. I really do. And, you know, in the beginning, I had on like Mark McMillan, Derek Gunn, you know, all those Eagles reporters, Mike Kay, Jeff Mosher, Chris Franklin, all those guys. It was truly a pleasure. And it started, you know, building something special, I thought. And then kind of got like everyone and their mom was asking everybody. And that's no excuse for me to stop asking people, but people started ignoring me. And then I felt once people started using the whole health thing, I was like, oh, I don't. You know, my whole thing was, hey, look, I almost passed away. And this is my whole message on the road to victory. And then it kind of just felt like got the rug pulled from under me. And I was like, I'm just going to do my thing. And trust me, I have been reaching out to people to get them on. And there were a couple that were supposed to. And then look, I just keep fighting through it, man. I don't care. I don't use excuses. I don't, but we'll keep building that. And in the off seasons, more of, you guys saw how many people I had on, but I'll keep getting more guests and like that when I have a more set schedule in my life. Even when people ask me to come on, I'm like, dear God, my life is a whirlwind, but I'm always happy to. Don't ever be afraid to ask anybody. But I appreciate the hell out of you, Hulk. Love the name. But I'll be real. I feel like the Incredible Hulk sometimes. And, you know, that green comes out of me a lot of times because of our green friends. But I come here because it's like, look, we'll get through this together, ladies and gentlemen. We will. And we did, you know, at the beginning of the year, it's like, dude, let's temper our expectations. Let's watch the growth. We'll get through this. And here we are. We're seeing the growth blossoming. And it's like, dude, like we didn't have to hear all the whining for 6 months from people that didn't understand football. They go out in the media and they just blah, 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 and then they get all these other people that believe what they're saying. It's like, oh, God, help us. God, please help us. And now look at everybody. Now they're all buying jerseys. It's like, dude, we just are asking as fans to be fans. That's all I want from fans is to be fans. And we can be pissed as hell together when they're sucking. I mean, you guys see me. I'm probably the most insane, pissed off person, but it's like, it's directed at the right place, right? Too much misguided hate in this world, and I just can't deal with it, man. So I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Just try to do what I can. And yeah, man, that was a big worry getting that money, Jake Elliott. But then earlier this season, he restructured his contract, and I was like, oh, okay. He's realizing he needs to step it up. So I think that kind of put him on track, and he's been doing well. Missed those couple. The one was a really long. I'm not worried about it. I think he's done well. So Drew, I agree with you. I think he's done phenomenal. But that's all I got for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I got to get rolling because I got to go on with these other guys. I will retweet it and share it wherever I can, but definitely check it out. At 9 o'clock, I will be going live with these guys. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the roster comparison and matchup advantages for the Philadelphia Eagles and New Orleans Saints. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Leave me a comment below if you're watching later. You know, you agree, disagree with what's going on in this game. I will be back tomorrow. We will be doing the top 10 matchups to watch in this game, and I will be giving you my score prediction. So tune in. Let me know your thoughts. What do you guys have as a score prediction? Let me know your top matchups for the game. Going to be a great time tomorrow. So hope to see you then. Hey, hope to see you at 9 here at these other guys' show. Looking forward to it. So hope you guys are all having a great night. Appreciate you checking me out on all these platforms. If you need anything from me, you can find me in all these places. Don't use that one too much, and not really that. I try. So I will definitely get back to you when I see it. If I don't, message me again. But I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Really enjoyed talking with you. I hope to see you tomorrow. If not, we'll be talking Sunday. You know, there's always a pregame, a halftime, and postgame show giving you my thoughts on what we're seeing, what we need to see, and everything else in between. But thank you guys for taking the time tonight. Have a safe night. Hope you're enjoying the start to your weekend. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. And as always, come on!